This video saved me from catching a domestic violence case with my girl. Thank you. Jesus. What's going on, guys? According to Chewy here, I look like baby Jesus with this hair banging out because I didn't feel like combing my hair this morning. But we are here back at the house with the CRX fully offloaded from the trailer, and we have a lot of work to do before we go to track in 2 days, and it's crunch time. So what I got to do to the car, I'm sorry if it's kind of dark, but I have to take out the alternator, and my boy Joe bought me an alternator, or spotted me an alternator, and it's on its way here. So I appreciate you, Joe, tremendously. So I'm gonna have to pull out my wastegate, pull my alternator out, check my fuse, plug everything back up, get my alternator to charge my battery if the alternator was the culprit from the get-go. And you guys can see here, fuel, 2 battery packs, and a brand new battery is how I get this car to turn on to get it off the trailer. And I made a pass earlier without my GoPro. Oh my god, this car is so nasty. So square up the alternator, the charging system on the car. I'm gonna run another 0 gauge from the back negative all the way up into the front transmission or somewhere on the transmission, so I can bolt it down and make it a direct connection. And then once we can get like a 13 reading on the battery and the charging system, we'll move into the car, and we're gonna swap out the shifter box for the other one I snagged from the junkyard a while ago with the short shifter adapter for RX shift box. And then I'm gonna put RX cables into it, so that way we can definitely bang gears without you know, complications going to second and every other gear with the stretch cables that are currently in the car now. And then once we get the shifter box and everything all installed, I think all that is left to do is ventilate the fuel cell, because I didn't put a ventilation on it. So I'm probably gonna tap it up here, put a vacuum hose, and let that be the ventilation, since I don't ever really fill it up to this top anyways. And then once we squared it with that, we'll move under the car and try to remove the gas tank. So this video may be a span of 2 days because I don't upload weekends, and I just got a lot of things to do. So I'm gonna get the wagon moved off the driveway, move the CRX up, and get down to work. Damn. Super dark. So guys, we kind of struggle with the alternator real quick. The new one kind of sat the power cable a little too close to the block, and when I went to go put the belt on, the old one's right there, it was actually touching the block. So if I was to put the power on, it would have shorted out the car. So me and Joe went to O'Reilly's and got a belt that was 3/4 inch longer, and we were able to pull the alternator away from the motor, so we're not touching power to negative. And we just finished. So I'm gonna go ahead and hook up my ECU back into the car, hook up the battery, turn it on, and then check voltage and see if we're kicking out, you know, what was it, 13.6 or something like that to the rear.
Anything over 13.6 I think will be all right.
Yeah, because earlier it was like 10. So if that's good, then yeah, we're good with that, and we'll continue again tomorrow. All right guys, so I just did the KTUNED unboxing video, and my mom called me for some help. So we are back here with loss of daylight. So what I have been doing is, since last night we put the alternator on, and then I didn't really fire the car over because it was too late to do so. And today I tried firing the car over and it still was doing the same thing. But when it did fire over, it was only reading like 11 in the back, and then it was doing the exact same thing with the other alternator. So I kind of traced it, probes, voltage readings at certain points of the power system, and here's my issue. One, this is a 50 amp. Two, it's too short. It's supposed to be another maybe half an inch long. And three, it's blown. So the reading was from 14 at the alternator charge harness to the fuse box. It was 14. It was 14 on one side here, and then it was 11-ish on this side. So I went ahead and just robbed one from the other wagon and stuck it in there. Now we have full charging power to the rear battery. I also took that to Joe's store and got it warranty, so we have a full charge battery. And the car turns over now, but we have a sputter misfire issue. I did new spark plugs, doing new cap and rotor as of right now because the other one was completely shot. I got some NGK wires I'm going to toss on here as well, and then I'm going to turn the car over again, see if it still misfires or doing what it was doing before, and then we'll move on to doing the cables, which I still have to pull out of this car, and then we'll drop the fuel tank last because that's not really necessary right now, but I really do want to get that off as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and start installing everything. I'm gonna give you guys a quick little update here. So plugs, wires, cap, rotor, injectors were cleaned, and I installed the GM 3-bar map, which is soldered to this plug. So when we get to the track, we unplug this guy, hook this guy up right here, already vacuumed, and Jeremy could switch all of this in the ECU. I took this little end cap off right here, and then I drilled a hole, tapped it, put a little 90, was able to install a fuel pressure gauge, and my fuel pressure is about 55. Now I know what fuel pressure we are getting for future reference, and it is too late to turn on the car. I ran the white wire from the AEM wideband to D14 like my tuner told me to, so we can data log AFR at the track. Two things I got to do left is to change out my shifter box for the other one because I broke this one 2 tracks ago, and then I got to pull the cables out of the wagon so I can use that wagon on the new shifter box with the KTUNED adapter on the transmission. And the last thing I got to do is drop the fuel cell. So I'm just going to go ahead and knock that out, guys. I can't really show you the time lapse because it is too dark, so I'm going to get all that done, and then I'm probably going to head out to the gas station, grab some E85 in that 5-gallon right there so we can have that for tomorrow. So I'm going to show you guys underneath the car with the hybrid no-cut shifter box. Forgot I have this little headlamp that Joe got me. Thank you, Joe. Because if I didn't have this, I wouldn't be showing you guys this as well. So I'm gonna put this jack stand here before y'all give me some shit. Right? Not sure if you guys can see it, but I took off 4 screws, Allen keys. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the difference between the no cuts is it mounts underneath the car, and
You know, everything obviously runs underneath the car. The cable's right here. And when you remove the plate, the cables are accessible right here. So these are like little circlips. You see that? Comes right on out of there. Same goes for this guy. Right on out of there. So now I could just simply remove these cables, put these guys back in for when I start working on this car. This is not lost somewhere in the garage. This guy right here, simply just take a flathead. I didn't bring a flathead. But I have my wire cutter, so I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of pry that sucker on out of here. Just like that. This guy twists out of the place. Just like that. And there it goes, our cable separated from the Hybrid Racing no-cut shifter box. And the reason why I brought this guy is because it is zip tied all the way up there. So I'm going to go ahead and snip that, pop the hood, remove my cables, and jack up the CRX. So this right here is my old RSX shifter box that I modified to fit into the car. And this is the Accord or Prelude cables or whatever the hell it is that I had to make custom brackets using the old Accord metal shifter. And that sat right there. And at the track, when I took it out 2 tracks ago or a couple months ago, I was still running the same stretched cables, and I took these from the yard hoping that it'll fix my issue, and then it wouldn't fit because this was that close and I couldn't pull the cable out. So we broke the shifter box right here up front and fitted those cables on, and they were the wrong one. So I scored this one in the junkyard with a new speed short shift adapter, this thing right here. And what it does is, I believe it kicks the selector cable right here much more forward, which then makes it a shorter throw to go into gear. And I'm going to be using this box because this isn't broken. This is the RSX cable from my car, and then I'm going to be using the KTUNED HF series trans bracket. So I'm going to go ahead and just get all this put back in. It's about 11 o'clock. I'm supposed to be leaving at 5, so I know I'm going to have very little sleep, but I'm going to get that installed real quick, and then I'm going to remove the fuel tank since I have the car up on all fours right now. You can't really see it, but progress. Complications after complications. So I installed the RSX shifter box and then the RSX cables right here. I took this back out and I'll explain in a minute here. So there's the bracket. Pretty simple install. 2 spacers, 3 Allen key bolts. Pretty self-explanatory where everything goes. And I got one of the cables hooked up right somewhere there. And that bracket is meant for the race cables, the KTUNED race cable. But my race cables aren't meant for this car. My race cables are meant for the wagon. So the neutral cable, this one right here, this part that goes to the selector on the transmission is about 4 inches short. The race cable is actually a lot longer, and that's unfortunate. But what I did was I took my old stretch cable that I was going to throw away anyways, and I measured it. I cut it off right there, and then I welded it to this cable so we can get the extra length to allow us to go 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, pretty much the neutral portion of the shifter box. And I'm about to install this, but so I'm not going to carry this video any longer. I'm just going to end it right here. I still have to pull the tank out. It's about 12 right now, and I still haven't grabbed E85 just yet, so I'm going to go ahead and install the sucker, drop the tank quick, grab E85, take a shower, go to sleep. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.